Hi, welcome to Inside the Lines. I'm Lizzie Arbogast alongside Ryan Gallagher, and we are here for week 6 of the football season. Things are really starting to sort of shape up in terms of the playoff picture, and a lot, I think, will be determined this week for sure.
Yeah, you're kind of seeing how teams are playing out, and the rest of the year is mostly predictable, barring injury.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just trying to, for teams like Reeltown, it's about keeping your guys healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And teams like Horseshoe Bend and Kusum, you're trying to build off what you can do for next year at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll kick it off with Benjamin Russell, which is headed to Opelika for our game of the week. This is kind of a little bit of a rivalry game for both of these teams, and it's a region game, and it's really, really important for Benjamin Russell to continue. They've got 2 wins in a row now, and to try to build something positive against Opelika, which is a top 10 ranked team, and going to be very tough for the Wildcats.
Well, they looked great on Friday. That was the first game I had seen. It was 55-7.
You got the good one.
I know, it was awesome. The run game was just there all day. They were able to do. That's all they did was just run the ball. I think they only passed it 3 or 4 times. Hezekiah Hunter was just phenomenal. He had over 100 yards and 4 touchdowns just in the first half. But it was their defense that really set them up. It's Ty Brown on playing defensive end that is just phenomenal. He's tackles for losses, sacks, like whatever they do, he's just in the backfield constantly.
Yeah, and Coach Smith said that also Zay Stowe's moved to the defensive side of the ball, and he thought he looked pretty good.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. He had a pick 6. He had a couple catches on offense as well. He looked good. He was fired up. He was the energy for the team all night.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and he does that. And I think Benjamin Russell, Opelika's got some really, really strong skill players, both on the ground and through the air. And I think Benjamin Russell is going to need their defense to be especially strong this week, because there's no way if they get into a shootout with Opelika that they can't hang with them, I don't think.
Well, we talked about it several times this year. You've been to a few of the Benjamin Russell games, and you said that the run wasn't there, and it's just nobody was respecting it, and you felt like they were just trying to pass a little bit too much. That was the complete opposite this week. And I asked Coach Smith, I was like, I asked him, I was like, is that just who y'all are going to be going forward, or is that with just the quarterback being out? Is that what y'all are going to be? And he said he didn't know. He said this week it was our identity, but just because our quarterback was out, but because it was so successful, that might be their identity going forward.
Might as well stick with,
working.
Exactly. Don't fix what isn't broken. Next up on the docket, we have Montgomery Academy, which is headed to Danville, and oddly, it's Danville's last home game of the season. It's senior night. Danville is in desperate need of a victory, and the good thing is Montgomery Academy is not an unbeatable team. I mean, we're not talking about St. James, where it just felt like there's no way Danville's got a chance. They just really need to find a way to finish. And we saw that against Elmer County, lost again by less than a touchdown. And so that's something that the Tigers need to take advantage of every opportunity that comes their way.
Right, that's been the story of the year for them all year, is not being able to win the close ones, but they're just such a young football team. They're going to be fine next year. And this is like growing pains you have to go through. You learn from those experiences. They're not as bad as Horseshoe Bend on the defensive end, with Horseshoe Bend giving up big play after big play, but Danville, they'll have you contained for a while, and then they do give up a big play. They only give up like 3 or 4 a game, but that's what makes a football game, is 3 or 4 big plays, and that's what keeps them just out of arm's reach, getting a couple more victories this year.
Right, and I think that's something they're going to have to be wary of with Montgomery Academy. Montgomery Academy boasts a lot of really talented skill players, a lot of fast skill players. So I think the big thing for Danville is they just need to get something going positive early on so that they feel some sort of confidence. Because I think the wind is kind of out of their sails at this point. And it shouldn't be. They still have a lot of talent. But it's just going to be tough to salvage this season at this point.
Right, but this is a statement game.
Reeltown is headed to Thorsby on Friday night. This theoretically, barring some miracle that Central Coosa defeats Reeltown next week, this is for the region. This will clinch the region for Reeltown again, assuming they don't lose to Coosa. And I think this should be, after seeing Reeltown play against Maplesville, I mean, they looked so good. I don't think they're going to have any trouble with Thorsby this weekend.
Right. I hate that I missed that game. That must have been
it was a great game.
Besides the Reeltown Danville game, that must have been like the game of the year probably. Well, this Edgewood Macon East game that we didn't get to see. That's ridiculous. 70-69 final. Reeltown is just, they're still clicking all cylinders. Besides Iverson Hooks, a lot of their main guys are seniors. They're upperclassmen, and so they just want to they want to go out with a bang this year.
Yeah, and I think Eric Shaw just adds. Iverson Hooks went down after the first half. He went down with a concussion. Logan Hunt came in, and he managed the game really well. I mean, he's used to being a quarterback, so that it wasn't a problem. But it was funny because Coach Johnson said, Logan knows that when in doubt, just kind of chuck it up to Eric Shaw, and hopefully he'll get it. And he made some really great passes or some great catches. And I think that with him sort of really, really getting comfortable is going to add a whole other layer to the Rebels. They're going to be really hard to stop. And I don't think Thorsby's going to do it.
Right. Well, this is what I talked to Coach Johnson about. When I saw real-time play a couple weeks ago, they got to play Logan Hunt. They got to play him a little bit, and because they were up so big. And he is a better pocket passer than Iverson Hooks, and he looks the part. He throws a great ball, and
he's experienced. He was a starter last year.
Right, so that's what me and Coach Johnson talked about. If something, God forbid, does happen to Iverson, you do have somebody that's experienced and that is willing to go in there and gives the rest of the team a belief system versus Danville. They have a freshman, and although they know their freshman is talented in Rambo, they just know he doesn't have experience, right? And there's that little bit of doubt. You can't have any doubt in football. It's got to be 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So Horseshoe Bend is on a bye this week. I think it comes at a really good time for them. So the only other game that we have this week is Central Coosa headed to Vincent for a region game. Vincent is easier than some of the competition that Central Coosa has faced lately, especially Walter Wellborn last week, which is a disaster. So I think that Central Coosa can keep it closer. Vincent's also 0-2 in the region, but it's just going to be so hard with so few numbers and such a awful line. I hate to say it like that, but call a spade a spade.
I still believe that they're going to be able to turn it around eventually, but you have to show that you're at least willing to make the effort to right now. At some point, something's got to give. You got to. Yeah. It just seems like the season's getting worse rather than better.
Right.
And you see progress even with the teams like Danville. We see some things that are progress, some things that. Right. They are doing better from earlier on in the year, and things that they're doing worse, but they know that they're doing it worse. Like, I just don't see any improvement going on in Coosa. And it's just frustrating for me because I know that they can do better.
Yeah.
That's why I'm frustrated.
And I think this week is a chance that they can do better. I mean, they've had some really, really tough games over the last couple of weeks, and I think that they've got in Vincent isn't a dominating team. And so hopefully we'll have something positive.
Yeah. I mean, we want to talk about all the teams positively. We're struggling in our picks because we believe in our teams a little bit too much. We pick them a little bit too often when we probably shouldn't. But
I'll always pick Reeltown. No, I'm just kidding. But I think it's going to be a good slate of games. Like I said, a lot of stuff is going to be decided here in the next couple weeks about playoffs. Really, really interested to see what happens with that Calera-Selma game. Benjamin Russell's hopes are kind of hinging on that game and possibly an upset somewhere. I mean, they could beat Opelika, they could beat Wetumpka. It's going to be tough. So really interested to see how that plays out. So we will keep you all updated. Make sure to pick up Saturday's paper for Sports Extra. And I will be live with someone, not sure who yet, on Friday night. I think Nick Grogan's going to join me, possibly Scott Hardy, but we will be live on Facebook Friday night.
Be too far away.
At Opelika. Yeah, you're going to be so far away. We're going to be on opposite sides of the state, basically. Not quite, but basically. So anyway, join us for Inside the Lines Live, and we will see y'all on Friday night.
You can get me one of those drop back things, and I could be like in the corner.
Oh,
and I FaceTime you, and we just like link the FaceTime.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, for sure.